Feather the Redeemed versus Omnath, Locus of Mana. Plenty of mana in this hand, but it's not the correct colours. Well, if we get into a red or white source, then we can get Feather down. And we can get her down twice more after that if she's removed. Yeah, I think we have to keep that. We're not on the draw, unfortunately. Let's just get down the plains to start off and throw it over to our opponent. Omnath, Locus of Mana, is 3 mana, mono green for a 1-1. You don't lose green mana as steps and phases end, and it gets +1/+1 for each unspent green mana you have. Feather the Redeemed is 3 mana in Boros for a 3/4 flyer. When you cast an instant or sorcery that targets a creature you control, you get it back into your hand at the next end step. Our opponent has gotten down a Mirri's Guile, so that will fix their draws for the rest of the game most likely. We'll get down Cavern of Souls and name Angel. Yeah, we'll just get down the Skull Clamp, there's nothing else we're doing. Unfortunately, we don't have any real red in hand, because the Cavern of Souls will only tap for red to put into Angels, so we actually could really do with drawing into a Mountain. Yeah, Eerie Interlude doesn't do anything, we might as well get down Ancient Tomb. And we'll pass the turn like that. Alright, just getting into all the colourless mana. Handweir Battlements doesn't do anything for us. How many colourless lands do we even have in this deck? I don't think there's... Yeah, we've got 3. Ancient Tomb, Handweir Battlements and Wasteland. I suppose Cavern of Souls counts as a colourless land, so we've gotten into pretty much all of our colourless lands so far. Just have to keep our fingers crossed again for a Mountain. Deciding to tap all the mana and go straight in for Scapeshift. Yeah, I'd be intrigued to see what they're doing here with Scapeshift. Usually you see that much later in the game. Okay, what have they got on Nykthos? Shrine to Nyx. If we do get down a Blasphemous Act, that won't do them much good. Winding Canyons. Cast creature spells as though they had flash, and then another Forest. Yeah, I'm intrigued by that Scapeshift. Okay. Let's draw a card with that Shelter. Oh no, it's target creature you control. So we can't even do that, can we? Okay, well it's passing again. Yeah, going down for lots of green mana to buff Omnath this time. And that is 6 commander damage for us, and there we go. Finally get into a Mountain. Now, do we want to blow up the board? How much will it cost us to do that? That will cost us 7. And with Mana Crypt, we can just about do that, so I say we blow up the board here and try and slow our opponent right down. That will empty our opponent's mana pool and force them to recast Omnath. Chances are they can get into a land off of Mirri's Guile next turn. But it knocks them down some mana and also takes them off a turn because they have to recast their Omnath. Now, unfortunately, because we're so screwed on coloured mana this game, we can't hold up Shelter for a Lignify or Song of the Dryads. Beast Within, anything like that, but what's the likelihood that a green player is going to have removal? Quite likely in one of my decks, but people don't tend to run much green removal in my experience. Impact Resonance, yeah, I don't know how much use we're going to get out of that this game. We'll just go for Feather and hope that Feather survives until the next turn, because we can't give her protection. Might as well equip the Skull Clamp for some extra damage going through, and our opponent we can do Double Strike with Double Cleave. A new one from Modern Horizons is Fists of Flame. You draw a card, and then until the end of the turn a target creature gains Trample and +1/+0 for each card you've drawn this turn. So if we have enough mana, which we don't, but if we do, we could go for something like Double Cleave and then Shelter, and then Fists of Flame. That will be 3 cards that we've drawn this turn, and therefore an extra 6 damage coming through with Double Strike. Now, thanks to the Lightning Greaves, we can't target Omnath anymore, so it's just a race to the finish line at this point, I think. And I actually quite fancy our odds in this because we do have that double strike. Let's go double cleave first of all onto feather. And because that targets feather, we'll get it back at the end of the turn. And then we'll go in for the new Fists of Flame. And this will give feather a +2/+0 buff, as well as draw us a card. Alright, there's a bandage. Be nice to get down the Crowan Crusader, and then we could target that with Shelter to draw another card, but unfortunately, we don't have the mana this game. But if we can just do this again next turn, then that is 24 commander damage on our opponent. So we'll have to see if they've got anything for us this turn. They've only got 2 cards in hand, but they can be quite selective with Miri's Guile. We can't even hold up protection for our commander. Oh, and there's a Caged Sun. Yeah, that's not going to be fast enough for our opponent, unfortunately. Although that probably could have got them close to lethal next turn. Yeah, I think it was a mistake by our opponent to get down that Scape Shift so early. I'm not really sure what their aim was with that. But they had every chance to beat us there. We were really struggling on mana for most of the game. But as soon as we got into that red mana, we could get in for a couple of big hits with feather. Next turn, we were just going to go in for the double cleave and the +2/+0 again with Fist of Flame. Let's see what we would have drawn into. Yeah, there is the Balefire Liege. Definitely wouldn't have been casting that. But all we needed was these two, and that would have been lethal damage in the air, taking our opponent up to 24 commander damage. So hopefully you all enjoyed that sketchy game with Feather the Redeemed. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.